What should you do if you start to gain weight when you're intermittent fasting? This is an important topic because nothing is more frustrating when you're trying to lose weight than if you start to feel like you are gaining weight instead. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I look at weight gain, how I define it, and what I do about it. The first thing to do is to not panic, okay? In 2015, that was my problem. I panicked all the time about my weight. I was in a huge rush to make the weight go away, and I ended up panicking all the time and changing my plan and just, in short, not being consistent. But in 2016, I got very clear on my plan. I said, I'm gonna do intermittent fasting 6 days a week. I'm gonna do a cheat day on Sunday, and I'm gonna walk 6 miles every day. Once I got very, very clear on my plan, I also said, I'm gonna take the very, very long view. I'm not gonna start, panicking every time there's a gain or perceived gain. And I said, I'm gonna just take it 6 weeks at a time, and really even 2 months at a time. That's how long I started to look at, and really even years out into the future. That's what I was more concerned about. Like, am I doing the things that 10 years from now I'm going to be at a healthy weight? And if the answer was yes, I was going to be okay with that. But I know that's a lot easier said than done. When I look back over my weight loss journey, I can show you, that the weight doesn't go this way. It goes like this. And notice there is that little up part. And that's the part where you can start to panic and think, oh my gosh, I'm not doing the right things. And then you just change everything and you end up doing nothing at all, like I did in 2015. But what I found is more helpful is to start taking the long view, realize, there are going to be those up fluctuations, just like there's the downward trend. And you just have to learn how to deal with that. And I think it's an excellent idea to analyze, if you start to notice a gain, do something about it. Here's how I analyze whether I'm actually gaining or not. And there are times, I'll tell you, even now, where I'll have some, weeks there where it's like, why is the number, it's going up? Why is it going up? It should be going down because I'm doing the right things. But I always go through the same process, and it keeps me on track. The first thing I do is I ask myself, am I being consistent? Am I following my plan? Actually, every day is part of my checklist that I go through. And one of the tasks is to just simply ask myself, did you stick to your plan yesterday? This is crucial, okay? I have noticed for myself that the only times that my numbers have really ever gotten really kind of out of line is when I haven't been consistent. I've had too many off days, I have too many off-plan days. So I simply ask myself, did you stick to the plan? And I'm brutally honest with myself about whether I stuck to the plan or not. Now, I'm brutally honest, but I'm not brutal with myself. So, I'm very strict. It's like, did I have a single bite of food during my fasting window? Then the answer is no, I did not stick to my plan the day before. But I don't beat myself up about it, okay? That has been so huge. I don't beat myself up. It's just about, understanding, okay, well, I didn't stick to the plan. Okay, no big deal. I just know that if the numbers aren't going to cooperate, that's one reason why. So if I'm being very, very consistent and I can realize that, I've been super, super consistent, then I look at the numbers and I take, again, the long view. And I've looked at the numbers, for the past few years. And during those times where I was trying to actually lose and I was being very consistent, when I look at, 2 months out, so I take that 7-day average and then I look 2 months out, generally speaking, I can always see that after 2 months of time, that number has gone down. But there have been times where even when you compare 2 months, there have been, just slight fluctuations up. But overall, if you look at the long term, you look at that column and see how the number, it goes down and down and down eventually. But it's all about just being stubborn, letting the scale catch up to the effort, and staying consistent with the plan. Now, during all my time of doing this, I've never had to actually change my plan. I didn't want to change my plan. I didn't want to have to change, the things I was eating, because my plan is to eat whatever I want at my one meal. And I like that. And I find it very, very easy to stick to. So I have never changed the plan, and I've just kind of waited it out, and that's what's worked for me. Now, let's say though that maybe you're kind of new at this and you don't really have any results to go on, and for 6 weeks you've been really consistent with this plan and the numbers are just going up. Here's what I would say. First of all, assess your plan and make sure you really do have a clear plan so that you really do know that you are doing a plan. And then the second thing to do is to maybe look at pushing your fasting window to be a little bit longer. Anything shorter than like a 16-hour fast, a lot of times people either don't have any results or maybe have even some slight gains. And it's not something I've ever had to do, but if you don't want to make your fasting window any longer than what it currently is, you might have to look at tweaking your eating, like what are you eating, how much are you eating, and then go from there. So that's what's worked for me. Basically, take the very long view, don't panic, stay relaxed, don't beat yourself up, and get right back on track. If the problem is you're not being consistent, maybe even look at making your plan a little easier so that you can be consistent. I'm curious to know, like, how do you look at gains? Do you have a trick to kind of get yourself back encouraged? Okay, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below.